NSF has had a program in place now for a number of years to encourage universities to collaborate on large-scale instrumentation grants.
Terry Gustafson is a professor in Ohio State's Department of Chemistry.
Sometimes this can be done by having a shared facility where somebody can come to a particular university and use the instrument. But owing to the advances in computer technology and kind of the relative inexpense of doing that part of it, NSF has this policy on these limited submission chemical research infrastructure and facilities grants, CRIF grants, where a university can submit only a small number of them if it's just for that institution, but you can submit an additional proposal if you are planning to provide remote access to other institutions, and in particular, partnering with four-year colleges and universities that would never have the resources to do this, as well as universities that are populated heavily by underrepresented minorities in the sciences.
The National Science Foundation funds basic and applied research. In fact, NSF provided Ohio State with almost $50 million in 2010. But the funding agency also uses their influence to encourage researchers to take advantage of the emerging cyber infrastructure. And one example of that is making expensive instruments available to undergraduate institutions remotely.
In short, this instrument combines a Raman spectrometer, an infrared spectrometer with a microscope. The Raman and infrared spectrometers have both been around for years in scientific research. Typically people would make a pure compound, dissolve it in a solvent or make a pellet, and get a nice spectrum of that pure compound. And that was a lot of good research in past years. Now when you mix that with a microscope, you can focus the light onto very tiny spots, like 1 micrometer in diameter, and get the Raman and infrared spectrum on that spot. You can then also move the sample back and forth on the microscope stage and make an image, a map of the spectra, which is a lot of information, especially if your sample is different in different places, heterogeneous. You can make maps of the composition as a function of the XY position on the sample.
The information from this instrument is invaluable to big industries such as pharmaceuticals and semiconductors. And remote access of this instrument helps undergraduate education at partner institutions. But a project such as this presents special challenges to local IT groups, who often have to be concerned with network access at both ends of a remote access connection. Knowing IT policies and being able to advocate for researchers' needs are keys for local IT groups. Mike Reed, director of the Department of Chemistry's IT group, explains.
Having the most collaborative policy process and one that makes the most sense in terms of how our researchers do their work is great for us, because it puts us back in the position of being more proactive and being able to plan and design versus dealing with fires that are popping up all over the place.
It's a lot of work for all concerned, but it's important for future research funding.
The challenge is, if we continue to have success by being able to demonstrate that we can do remote access and that it is easy to do, relatively, that the capabilities exist, then we will have opportunities to enhance the research infrastructure in ways that we can't do if all that we do is say, well, we're just going to bag remote access because it's too hard. And it will hurt the overall research infrastructure, particularly in the sciences, but certainly in other areas as well, because one of the things that's true in all of these is success breeds success, right? you demonstrate you can do this. We get other schools who have been successful at doing this, and they say, boy, yeah, we'd love to be able to have this capability that doesn't exist, or that, and we'll be glad to work with you because we know we'll be able to get data from the systems that, because of the way you've set up. So in order to really continue to enhance the research infrastructure, we really need access to this.